And we're live. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday evening. Tuning in 10 p.m. Eastern time. I'm down here in the basement. I'm not up gaming. Oh, I got my alerts going off because I'm a pro. All right, we got that. We got those quieted down. Yeah, I'm down here in the workshop instead of up at the gaming rig there because I've amassed a pile of stuff and it's time to do some unboxing. I'm pretty excited. I've been working on my setup for this, trying to get it to flow a bit more smoothly. So, hoping this will all go pretty easy. Yeah, so boy, I'm honestly I'm not even sure where to begin. I've got gifts from fans. I've got gifts from friends. I've got new Perry merch to show off. Stuff that I picked up at the Brimfield Antique Fair a number of weeks back. Just all kinds of stuff to show off, and yeah, honestly, it's a little tough to pick where to begin. I think I'm going to start with some of the Perry merch. I'm going to consider that business. We're going to get business out of the way right up top, and then we'll move on to the stuff that's for my collection. The first thing I want to show from that is something I'm pretty proud of. I've always outsourced my shirt designs because I am not particularly gifted at graphic design, and I decided it was time for me to learn. So I wanted to do a design that was pretty simple because I'm still learning. And this is the first self-done Perry shirt design since 2018. 2018, I had a Edward Gorey style shirt for a previous gimmick, but this is the first one that I've done since the birth of the human monster truck, if you will. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let's get a look at this here. Switching over to the benchtop camera, real fancy. Hey, Grizzlies raiding with a party, and we have just started. It is perfect timing for a raid because we are just kicking off. Grizzly, welcome aboard. Thank you for popping in. I'm doing my unboxing, and I thought I would kick things off with the new Perry merch, just getting it out of the way right up top, and then we'll move on to the collectibles. This shirt is one that I designed. I don't do a ton of designing myself. I find it very intimidating, very daunting. The idea here is I wanted something that felt vintage, kind of inspired by almost like the shirts you see for state parks and national parks. I wanted the monster truck, wanted my name, but I just wanted it to be very simple and colorful. I love colorful shirts on a merch table. I think it's too many black shirts with a plain white design. I like this. I think it came out great. I'm going to switch over to the IRL cam here and hold it up because it gives you an idea of some of the scale here. I think it's a really nice design. And, it's what's not to like? An old school monster truck, some nice colors. I'm very pleased with it. Again, for something I designed myself, it came out great. I don't do a ton of my own design work because I don't feel adequate at it. All right, continuing on with some of the Perry merch here. This is anyone who was at my shows earlier this year saw that I had some wrestling buddies made. Hate to raid and leave, but gotta work in the morning. Hey, I get it, Grizz. I get it. Thank you as always for popping in. Anyone who was at shows earlier this year saw my wrestling buddies. I just had some new ones made that are a slightly different design. These almost rings as a bit sort of like anime meets South Park. Hey, Bobby, welcome. Glad to see you in the chat, my friend. But yeah, the new Perry buddy, nice and squishy, nice and soft. Got my long flowing locks there. Name on the back. Got the Gravedigger font going on. I'm gonna switch us over to the benchtop cam so we can get sort of a close up of squishy Perry here. But yeah, they got my beard. The designer was very generous with the physique, but I appreciate it. The sewing seam sometimes makes it so it looks like my name is spelled incorrectly, but it is spelled correctly. I made sure of it. I was an English major in college and later taught literacy, so it'd be awfully embarrassing to have that come out incorrectly. But yeah, that's the new Perry Buddy. Very psyched to have those on the merch table, and the folks who've picked them up seem very happy with them. All right, I'm gonna switch gears. We're definitely gonna get into the close up cam here because I've got some really cool smaller items. These are trading cards. We got some cool ones to take a look at. So I'm gonna bring us back down to the benchtop cam. All right. First, I'm gonna start with this piece. See how close I can get it before we. Oh, hey, that's staying in focus, real nice. I love this art. You got the old Samson truck jumping in the back. That was picked out by the artist. The artist who did this is Jack Purcell, who is a Marvel and DC Comics artist. He did a whole series of cards like this for Pro Wrestling Grind, and I was fortunate enough that I made the cut and I was involved. All his info is there. I'm not sure if it's able to be read on screen, but I'll throw it in the description on the YouTube video when this gets uploaded. Super happy with this card. I love it. I think it's just so cool looking. I love that it goes all the way to the edges. And again, having an old school monster truck right in the picture, it feels like me. I'm wearing, if you haven't seen me in the silver, orange, and black gear, I don't get to wear it that much these days. It's tag gear from when I team with Rip Bison. It's our MAD gear, M-A-D, one letter off from Max D. And this gear is, in fact, Max D inspired. If you ever see it on my YouTube or see, I think there's a close-up post of it on my Instagram, you can get a good look at it there. So that's the first one. The next one, this is a very cool, this is done in the style of a tarot card, and everyone who was in the main event of the last grind show before myself and Rip left for Japan got a card done in this style. You see the Pro Wrestling Grind logo on the back there. This is so cool. This was done by Yofi Starks, and they are an incredible artist based down in the Philly, New Jersey-ish area. Just absolutely love how it came out, and the fact that I'm wearing one of my favorite shirt designs that I've ever had in the card is very cool. Having that piece of art both on its own and then appearing here, pretty neat. All right, now we got sort of a double header on cards here. These are from the fine folks at excuse me. These are from the fine folks at Raw Deal Indie Card, where they have their own Magic the Gathering style card game for indie wrestling. So this is my character card. Very pleased with how this came out. All the pertinent info on the back there. Love that. And to go with it, you have to have a finishing move. And this is the Perry-Go-Round card with a great picture of me in Japan hitting the Perry-Go-Round on one of my dear friends out there, Naoki Sakurajima, who's an old legend from Osaka Pro. I could go on and on about that. I was a big fan of Osaka Pro in college, and getting to work someone that I'd watched on YouTube when I was much younger was very cool. But yeah, these a lovely little set, and I'm happy to be part of the game. I saw Delmy just got hers too, so who knows? This weekend, someone might get the Gods and Monsters tag team, as we've been dubbed, as a set. All right, so now this next one is real special. I'm gonna show a couple things. This is a binder that I've had since I was a little kid, literally elementary school. I got this sick little binder. My parents kept it for me and kept everything okay inside of it, which I'm super grateful for. When I open it up, it's got a lot of old monster truck memorabilia that I had. You'll see this is from an old this is from a disposable camera. I'll hold it up so you get a good view there with Snakebite and Barefoot and Monster Patrol and Bigfoot and Gravedigger and Carolina Crusher. That was from one of the first Monster Jam summer tours, back when Bigfoot was still a part of Monster Jam. After I took all the pictures, I took that cover off and kept it. It was too cool to get rid of. I did want to show this. This is a piece of fan art. A very cool fan, Laura, brought this to me at Blitzkrieg Pro some time ago. I featured it in a vlog episode, but wanted to show it here. Super cool. Found a picture of me with the Crazy Train monster truck on my Instagram and brought it to life as a little piece of art. And super happy to have it. I love getting stuff like that from fans. It's just so cool. Um, so the reason I pulled this binder out, this stuff isn't new. Stuff I've had since I was a kid, is because this is my original collection of the classics monster truck trading cards. I've got a whole ton more. I've got like a couple boxes of like doubles and extras and stuff. There's a couple cards that I don't have I'm missing from the series. I actually believe a fan did gift me both of the cards I'm missing, and they are somewhere in my house, and I haven't put them into their spots yet. But the reason I pulled this out is because I have one more piece of Perry merch, and I wanted to contextualize it first because that collection meant so much to me when I was a little kid, and it took me a long time to get them all. So this is, I'll give you a close-up. This is what the cards look like. They've got the logo in the top corner, monster truck, some pretty basic font inside of sort of a Nickelodeon-style splotch here that's all blue. And on the back, you have all the info about the truck and the driver. It's a great little series, a fantastic thing to collect as a child. And again, meant so much to me. These are from 1990. So the owner of Proving Ground Wrestling makes trading cards along with other merch. He does 3D printing, all kinds of stuff. And he approached me with the idea that we should do a Perry card in the style of these because he had also collected them as a kid. And so the picture I went with is me with the old Enforcer truck out of Torrington, Connecticut. When the human monster truck character very first was coming together, I had a bunch of matches and then finally had one feud that meant a lot to me. It was at Pro Wrestling Grind. It was me and Travis Huckabee, and we were main event of the third ever Pro Wrestling Grind show. And for my promo, I drove the hour and a half to Torrington, Connecticut, where this truck is parked at a off-road shop, and filmed my first ever promo in front of a monster truck there. Owner was super cool, super happy to have me, took a bunch of pictures. And I do love that we didn't just stick with keeping the fronts similar, even with the logo. We got my sort of Perry Von Vicious logo there. The back matches too. And I did a little write-up about the truck and about my visit with it there. And this is one of my favorite pieces of merch I've ever had. I just think it is so cool that it matches so closely something from my childhood. Yeah, just thrilled with how that came out. Yeah, once again, owner of Proving Ground, Derek Simonetti, does fantastic work. He's done so many of my trading cards. Some of the ones I showed, he printed for me. Just a fantastic guy and a great resource when it comes to this kind of stuff. But he did all the design work on that. That was all on him. So pretty psyched to have it. Super thrilled. Again, that's my new merch. We just blew through it really quickly. Super happy with all those items. They are all available on the merch table. Anyone who wants to order any of those, get at me online. All right, let's see. I want to go big or I want to go small. Let's pop back over to the IRL cam here. And I'll show, I was on Instagram scrolling, and I happened to see one of the drivers for Monster Truck Throwdown in her story was wearing this great throwback shirt that I'd not seen before. And I sent her a message and said, hey, where do I get that shirt? And her response was, oh, I can't believe I forgot to put the link in my story. So I think I may have clued her in there, and I think she wound up redoing her story and adding the link. But she said, hey, I know the Throwdown guys have sent you stuff before. Do they still have your address? I said, yeah. She goes, perfect. I'm going to have them send you a shirt. And sure enough, I've got this awesome Sinistar shirt that is such a cool little throwback. I mean, look at that. That screams early 90s, late 80s monster trucks. I love the design on this. I like the purple. I like that it's not a black shirt. It's a gray. Everything about this shirt is great. I actually wore this last weekend when I just happened to end up at the All-Star Monster Truck show. And yeah, Super cool to have it. Shout out to the folks at Monster Truck Throwdown for hooking me up. All right, we're making our way through here. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk hot topic, antique fairs, right? that's that's what the people tune in for. Stay hydrated, kids. All right, I'm gonna pull over a whole big pile of stuff here because I had a good day at the Brimfield Antique Fair a couple of weeks ago and landed some pretty cool stuff. Um, all right, first I happened upon. I'm a huge nerd for the Hasbro WWF figures from the late '80s, early '90s, and I'm pretty specific with the ones that I actually care to have because there's so many. It's a big series. Um, I like the heavyweights a lot. They're always what I'm after. I love this early Big Boss Man. I'm going to switch to the benchtop camera here so you can get a good look at it. This is Big Boss Man from early in his run. He's a little bit heavier. He doesn't have the cool look that he had later. This is the Boss Man that I wanted for my set. And you will see he does. His hand is clearly meant to hold the nightstick that he came with. Did not have the nightstick. I got this guy for like $1. I'm just gonna 3D print a nightstick. I don't really care if it's original. I just want like the feel, the image of this toy on the shelf. I've got a little shelf with the Hasbro figures over in my gym, kind of behind me here in the basement. That's where this guy's gonna end up. So yeah, I'm gonna print him a little nightstick, and then he's gonna go up on the shelf. He's got some, there's some damage on the hairline that I could touch up, and I may. Again, his the belt on the back, the paint is worn off a little. His badge is a little smudged, but those things don't really bother me that much. The action still works. He still has his little spring-loaded action, so not bad for $1. All right. But also from the Hasbro's, this is the Hulk Hogan 1 figure, the first one. I'm not a huge Hogan fanatic, but this, man, I can't put it into words exactly, but this just is like a quintessential wrestling figure, right? Like this looks as much like a wrestling toy as one can really imagine. You will see that he has missing fingers on both hands. And a big part of the reason I picked him up is because I want to fix him. The hand design that he has is the same as my Perry Hasbro figure. So I'm thinking I'm just going to print a set of Perry arms over on the printer and either cut the fingers that I need and glue them on and try to, maybe putty it up a little, or I may just cut his hands off right at the wrist tape and then put the other hands on and paint them to match. I haven't really decided, but it's honestly, it's just an early attempt at seeing what I can do to repair these figures because, so many of them are so popular. And, I personally, for me, I don't care if all the parts are original. So, again, this was, I think, labeled as $5 where I got it. I talked them down. I think they gave it to me for $1. It was, part of a bundle with some other stuff. But yeah, his action still works too. Gotta love that. Make him balder. Yeah, they were pretty generous with his hairline here, huh? I may just do that. I've heard worse ideas. But yeah, just I mean, that's such a classic look for a wrestling figure. All right. So this next toy, I'm gonna pop back to the IRL cam here. This next toy, this is Big Van Vader from the original San Francisco Toy Makers WCW series. Sort of a big hard rubber. He's got a lot of squish, but he is massive and heavy. I had to have this. I'm such a huge fan of Vader, but this was the first wrestling action figure I ever had when I was a kid. I think I was probably in the 6th grade and saw this in an Ames department store, defunct series up here of stores. and I had to have him. The Hogan from this series is also very cool. Yeah, it is. It's huge. Um, the Hogan from this series was very cool too. There's a whole video that Matt Cardona and his crew, Smart Mark, all those guys did of the full history of these toys, and there are some really good looking figures. I'm gonna get us into the close up here, but it's just such a great figure, and it has that classic Vader look. Like everything about it reads right. The proportions, the height. I mean, the height of the boots. Everything is just exactly Vader. And even though he doesn't move or anything, he's kind of posed for Vader salt or for a power bomb on a guy. Like it's just kind of right. And I mean, that face is dead on. It's just, I love this toy, and I knew for a couple years now, I knew I had to get one again. And found this one at Brimfield, and the person selling it, I think it actually was like 50 cents. So hard to beat that. I've looked online. You're not going to get a better deal than that. All right, now we're getting into some of the stuff that I know we're all dying to see. I gotta do these in a particular order because of my camera use here. I'm gonna be very, very think it through here. Vader and Bam Bam did big men things back. Oh, Vader and Bam Bam, two of my all-time favorites. In fact, Vader, Bam Bam, and Big Boss Man. You throw Earthquake in there, I don't know if you need any other wrestlers ever. Fantastic talents. All right, so I have to be very thoughtful about the order I go here because I am going to move my benchtop camera to get a better view of some of these items. So first, I'm going to pull this out. For anyone who would recognize this, this is the plastic tube in which one would store their pogs in the 90s. I'm a huge mark for pogs. I think they are underappreciated in our current era and should come back. And the instant I get it together to make it happen, there's going to be Perry Von Vicious pogs on my merch table. I don't care if they don't sell. I don't care if no one cares about pogs. I think they're cool. This was so cool. There was a tub of pogs on this one table at Brimfield, and the girl running the table basically said, like, yeah, you grab like a handful for $5 or something. I was like, it's a little pricey, but I got big hands. It probably works out okay. Earthquake would be sad if he heard about the sumo incident. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree. But yeah, said I could have a handful of pogs for $5, and she saw me sort of picking through them, looking for like what was interesting in the thing, and then she said, I have one of the tubes. If I'll just give you a tube to fill up, and we'll call it $5. And then she says, hey, I've got slammers too. You can put them in there, whatever. $5 is still good. I was dumbfounded. So I'm gonna switch over to our benchtop cam here because I want to get a good view of these here. So popping it open, and here we go. It's a lot of stuff. I don't think I'm gonna pull all of them out. Just gonna pull out a selection here, but yeah, here's just a Pog logo Pog. We got Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog, and then a bunch of slammers. And the slammers were the big heavy plastic or metal ones that you would slam on the pile to try to win. Here's a metal one that's got some shape to it, a little holographic smiley face, and you see that little indent. That's because it will spins like a top. I used to have so many of these dumb things. This is a plastic one. Now this is one that makes me hopeful for doing some 3D printing to make some slammers. And it's got you can see the Pog logo is just indented on the plastic there. Let's see. Basketball player Pog. Here's just another logo. Oh, this is I believe this is from Batman Returns, maybe. Batman Forever. It says it right on there. We got that's Robin. On the other side, we got the Riddler logo with the bat in the middle. Classic. All right, this is a slammer that has a pog seemingly glued to it. I haven't messed with it to see what it was, but oh, and this was always one of my favorites, the hologram. Look at that. I'm not entirely sure what that is. Oh, I see. It's an eagle. Look at that. But yeah, this is you can sort of see the it's heavy. This is like a big heavy chunk of metal. I mean, it's just, super heavy. I know. Earthquake would be upset at me about the sumo incident, and he would have every right. Let me see. Was there? Oh yeah. So there's. I also have a number of the plastic pogs. They're the plastic slammers here. Slug. Flip it over, and then yeah, here's another one with sort of a blank on it. Let's see. Official Slammer Jammer is what this one says. I mean, yeah, look at that hammer slammer. Yeah, I love Pogs. They're so stupid and so awesome. And yeah, I did manage to find there was a Pog of a monster truck inside there. The rear wheel looks a little bit like a Bigfoot 5. The other looks like a regular monster truck. Good enough for me. Monster truck Pog, I think, is a big win. Yeah, they're a little bit like heavy poker chips. Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. Yeah, we got weird robots and stuff. Yeah. State Pogs. There's a Nashville, Tennessee with Elvis on it. Yeah, just a lot of bizarre ones that were in here. Guy, 1950s looking guy eating dinner. Wow, Pog and potatoes, my favorite. Yeah, just a strange world. I need to do a deep dive into Pogs and learn a little bit more about the styles and histories in there. But for right now, I'm just amassing a small collection of them because that's the particular type of time wasting that I've fallen into at the moment. But that was a very cool find for $5, a huge stack of them, and a collector tube. Hard to complain. All right, we'll set that out of the way. Yeah, this will be one of the last little close-up things before I move the camera. A fan knew that I collected those other cards, the classic cards that I had my own card to look like. And a fan messaged me and said, "Hey, would you be up to trade for that card?" And I was interested in what they had in mind. So I said, yeah, why? What were you looking to trade for it? And they said, well, I have some of the Bigfoot cards, the Leasley series. Are you interested in those? And I said, I don't actually have any of those. I've always wanted some, but I don't have any. And this fan said, let me hook you up. And they came out to the Proving Ground show I was on a number of weeks ago. And I signed a card for them, and then they presented me with this. And this is, I mean, honestly, kind of an embarrassment of riches. This is the complete 100 card set in order and an unopened wax pack of the cards. Now this definitely takes me back. The wax packs are such a cool vintage thing from when I was a kid. I'm going to go ahead and take these out of here. I've got big hands, and that's a lot of cards. And it's the full set. I mean, it's everything in the Bigfoot series. 1 to 100. And that was the trade. One of my cards signed for this entire set. They are beautiful. I have looked through them. They're I love the simple design. The pictures just scream, they're like, right, that's just so evocative of an era. I mean, some of these, the early Bigfoot stuff, you get one of the early dually car crushes. I mean, they're gorgeous. And I mean, it was honestly a little bit embarrassing to me that all I had to exchange for them was my cards, because this is so cool. And yeah, I'm just so psyched. again, anytime a fan has asked for a shout out, or I always ask, is it okay if I shout you out for gifting something? I always make sure I do. This fan said, no, 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 no. You don't have to shout me out. But yeah, including an unopened wax pack. And the wax packs are just so like, they feel like my childhood. I remember getting these, you can sort of see that style where it's that, very limited color use sort of screen print on wax paper, and then it's sort of heat sealed shut. These came 5 cards to a pack, so I mean, to get the full 100, that it was just a spare had to be crazy. Hey, Joey Nails, welcome, my friend. Glad to see you. Um, I do love how these always had like, yeah, their poster offer for each giant 2 foot by 3 foot Bigfoot colored poster ordered. Send 3 Leasley wrappers along with a check or money order for $3 for shipping. 2, and then it's the old Bigfoot PO box. Yeah, wow. I mean, I wonder how many people actually have the. Yeah, I wonder how many people have the old posters from this. I guess that would be the next piece I need to get, huh? But yeah, just super cool and totally, in the best ways, uncalled for. Like, look at that with the Tundra tires. I mean, and that's when Bigfoot 5 was sunk low in between them on its setup. When Bigfoot had the McDonald's sponsorship, the old Bigfoot McDonald's toys are on my list. One day I gotta have those. All right, I'm gonna carefully try to pack these away in a safe way here so that we can move on. These are a little tough to get in the pack, so I'm going to buy some more pages and they're going to go in a binder for safekeeping. All right, moving that out of here. Wonder if our good friend Chuck Plumley will show up. I don't know if Chuck will show up. He had mentioned he was interested in checking this out, but we're going to get to some stuff that Chuck gifted me in just a sec here. But for right now, I'm going to pop us back to the IRL cam. Because I have to move the other camera for a second. I've got this very high-tech setup here on my desk. It's 2 pieces of wood with a magnet piece that holds my phone for that. So, yeah, very, very high-tech. All right, let's put this down into the tripod here, because now we're getting fancy, because we got to talk some diecast, some toy trucks. That's what the people come here for, man. I've had very positive feedback on checking out the toy trucks here. So pop over to the benchtop cam. We have now moved into this beautiful side view here, and oh yeah, I picked up one of those fancy turntables. You'd better believe it, because I want you guys to have a nice view of what we're looking at here. Let's get it good and centered. Here we go. That's looking good. That's looking pretty good. All right. Hopping back to the IRL cam. Let's see. Oh, let's see. We're living in the future. I know, right? Shit, I got the most interesting monster truck I've seen. Oh, I'm interested to hear about it, Bobby, because I got some interesting ones here. Some of these are throwbacks. I mean, really, like, the first handful here are all old school. And I'm building to one big item at the end here that is maybe the coolest fan gift I've ever had, and kind of blew me away and has a great story to go with it. So stick around. It's coming pretty quick. A tuk-tuk. Oh, no way. Oh, you're gonna have to tweet me a picture of that one, because I got to see the monster truck tuk-tuk. All right, so we're on the subject of Brimfield. Monster truck selection was a little bit sparse when I went this time. I think it was because I was there on the last day. Everything had been sort of pilfered through. There wasn't a lot left. But I was able to get some of what I usually refer to as the CVS trucks. These are your off-brands. This is the Roadrunner series, which I've had in a previous unboxing. I had a lot of these. A lot of bright colors. They are to scale with sort of... let's see, I'm going to grab my Perry truck prototype that I keep around. This was from when I was first making the Perry trucks. So you can sort of see for scale here. This is to scale with the old Matchbox Superchargers, and very much fits the scale of modern Hot Wheels monster trucks. in Monster Jam trucks, and this is the Roadrunner series. Very similar in size and shape. Tires are virtually the same, but we got to hop over to the fancy cam here because we're gonna first let's get a look at the old Perry prototype. How great is that? That's the little me coming out the window there. You'll love to see it. Looks great. Let's get a little bit more light on that. Yeah, that's looking good. Sorry, off topic, but is that a Vader figure over there? Joey, yes it is. I was just talking about that. It was the first figure I ever had when I was a kid. I picked it up at the Brimfield Antique Fair for like $1. I'll give you a real quick, just because we had already gotten past it. There's the close-up. Big Van Vader, Big Leon. It's got to find out from the people who's the man. All right. So that's the old Perry prototype. And again, the size, very similar. But this is the little green and blue Roadrunner truck. It's got a cool design on the top. I believe it says prime time. It's hard to tell exactly what it's supposed to say on there. But yeah, that's just a cool little truck. I love the bright colors. I believe it's a double of one that I have. But, I grabbed a handful of these for $1, so I wasn't going to turn it down. The next one, this is got to get in the light here. This is from the Road Champs series. This is definitely a double of one that I have. Sort of this, and you'll be able to see it's a little bit beat up when it comes around here on the old turntable. In fact, I'm going to bring the turntable a little bit closer for you guys here. Yeah, you can see the axle's bent a little. The tires are sort of coming off the rims. But those are all easily fixed problems. And again, these are sort of the toys that you would get at like CVS when you were a kid. These wouldn't be in like a real toy store. You weren't getting these at a department store. These were the like, oh, I'm homesick and my mom has to take me to get medicine. And while I'm here, I need a toy because I'm sad. This is what you got. And I would get this truck home, and immediately in my head, this is Carolina Crusher, because I needed a Carolina Crusher, and it was yellow. So it was these trucks were stand-ins. No shame in that. But I do like these. I think the designs are cool and quirky, and I love the old square body look. I like that the tread style is very unique compared to some of the others. A lot of these are going to become project toys for me because I have a 3D scanner now. So I'm looking at making some replacement part files. See, I got those from the dollar store. Yeah, exactly. These were dollar store toys later on. That's where you found them. And I mean, what a toy too for $1. I mean, who's going to complain? It's perfectly to scale with the Matchbox and Hot Wheels trucks. It's a perfect toy. All right. So this next one, I can never remember the company name. I'm trying to read the bottom of it here. This company, I always forget what they were called, but they had great looking packaging. This is the scale is a little bit different on these. It always felt like when you would watch the old monster truck VHSs and there were like kind of the crappier, slightly smaller monster trucks that you would see at like B shows. This is what those felt like. And this is a police car. It's missing the headlights that go on the top. I know that because I already have this toy. I have a much better example of it up in my collection. But it's another one that I think is a good practice toy for me on doing some repairs and trying to restore it. With my resin printer, I can do translucent prints, so I can do red and blue headlights for it. I can touch up paint. I can fix the axles. You can see when it comes, you can see the sort of wonky shape the axles are in. They're not doing great. It's sitting a little funny. But, that said, it does still, for the most part, roll around. So, a toy's a toy, and even all beat up. Look at that. That looks cool on a shelf. I'd call that Hog Runner. Yeah, I think that's a fair name for it. The old Pig Patrol. All right. And then it was tag sale weekend in town here, and we wound up skipping most of them. But I happened upon one, and they had exactly one monster truck toy. And the lady just told me, you know what, it's yours. You go ahead and take it. This is the old CVS style pullback toy of Aftershock. This is an early version of the Aftershock monster truck, which I got to see in person a couple times last year with the Overdrive tour when it came through Western Mass, came to Greenfield twice. But yeah, literally just gifted it to me. Still rolls, still the pullback still works on it. There's definitely, it's got some issues with the axles and what have you, but again, this is going to become a project vehicle for me. It's going to become something I can 3D scan and mess around with and polish up that windshield so it becomes translucent again. It's kind of all beat up. You'll see it as it spins around here that it's a very clouded windshield. But yeah, I'll be happy to fix that up. All right, so that wraps up our Brimfield experiences. I'm going to pop back over to the IRL cam here. I'm also going to turn the turntable off for just a minute. See, I also got a Dodge Ram van monster truck, named it Ram Van. I actually don't think that's a bad name. I've heard worse names. All right. So, during the stream the other day and in an upcoming vlog, not yet released, I've already done a lot of talking about the awesome experience I had at the All-Star Monster Truck Tour this past weekend up in Herman, Maine at Speedway 95. I and the crew that I was with from Limitless Wrestling, Johnny Torres, the commentator. We had Randy, the owner. We had Paul from IWTV Production and ZPB, one of my oldest friends in wrestling. We were all there as the guests of our good friend Chuck Plumley, who is the voice of the All-Star Monster Truck Tour, as well as doing a litany of other things in that organization. He recognized me immediately, brought us in. I got to do the Gentlemen Start Your Engines. I got to drive the Identity Theft ride truck. That was super awesome. Shared some videos of that the other day. What I didn't get to touch on was all the free stuff that Chuck hooked us up with. It was so cool. First, we got our VIP lanyards. I am going to hop over to the up-close view here. Got the VIP lanyard for the tour, and had to wear that around. Got us access to everything all day. Hop back over to the IRL cam here. So yeah, had that all day, and also hooked us up with some of the flags. Now I've got a couple of these already mounted up over in the gym. I'm going to put these up as well. But yeah, I got two different flags from the tour. Had the classic white and black checkered All-Star Monster Truck Tour, as well as a red and black checkered All-Star Monster Truck Tour. He gave us a pile of these. All the guys I was with each took one, and I still had 4 left over. Again, 2 of them are up in the gym already. These are going to end up hung up in there somewhere. But yeah, super cool to get hooked up with those. And then, because, Chuck is an internet friend of mine. He sees me in the collecting groups. He sees my social media. He knows that I collect diecast. These are the first trucks from this maker that I've ever had, and I haven't opened them yet. We're going to do it, legit unboxing video. We're going to do it right here. These are the toys from Monster Mashers, and I'm going to go down to our benchtop camera. Gives us a little bit of a clearer view here. Yes, the truck. Yes, that's right. Identity Theft, the truck that Dennis Anderson ripped off. So these are the Monster Mashers. That's the company name, and this is the All American. And on the hood there, you will see the All Star Monster Truck Tour logo. I haven't opened these. I haven't been able to put them up next to any of the other toys to check their scale. But that's what we're going to get into now, and we're going to talk about each one that I get. So, let's see. I need to pull out a little X-Acto here. We are in my hobby shop, so I've got all the tools I need. We're going to get into whatever box we need to. Hope no one is squeamish. I have cut myself with one of these on camera before. That was a couple of weeks with a big bandage on my thumb whenever I would wrestle. I had a lot of fans who saw it happen and asked me about it at shows, and then they would see the bandage. All right, Here we go. So we're opening this on up here. Oh, I like this packaging. It's no twisty ties to undo. And it'll go right back in like that. I love that. That is so simple. I might rip that off for some of my toys. I think it looks really good. Cut away from yourself. Yeah, I know. Well, yes, with a blade, always cut away from yourself. Or if you cut yourself like I did, you cut the camera away from yourself, which is what I did in that instance. You can find it on my YouTube. I'm doing some 3D print work and the knife slipped when I was removing supports. You didn't really see it happen on camera. And immediately my hands pull out a screen. And then I picked up the camera, moved it, pointed it at a 3D printer and started talking about the 3D print process. Meanwhile, off camera while I'm narrating, I'm putting super glue in the cut. I'm taping it up. I'm getting gloves. I'm wiping up blood from everything with paper towels. And then a few seconds later, you see my hands come back into frame with gloves on. And I found out that a bunch of people watching had no idea anything had gone wrong. So that was good. All right, but we got this close-up camera going. Let's get our turntable kicking again. And this is All American. A great looking little toy. They have a slightly different approach I can see in how they mold the tires and the body and the chassis. It's definitely a two-part chassis mold. The tires are not rubber, they are plastic. Not a bad thing, just different. It does roll very smoothly. I think that's one of the trucks Chuck said he was going to send me. Well, it's a beautiful truck. Again, I'm gonna get it up closer to the camera and see if you can see it. That's the All-Star Monster Trucks logo on the hood. I love the look of this truck. Everything about this screams classic monster truck. Am I right? I mean, from the color choices to the body style, it's perfect. And these toys, they're lighter than your Hot Wheels or monster truck toys, but they roll beautifully. And not a lot of play in how the axles move, which means it's always going to roll a little bit straighter. So I think if you have like little downhill courses set up like you'll sometimes see on YouTube, I bet these things would pull in some really fast times. No notes. I think this is a great toy. All right, I'm going to very carefully pile this stuff up because some of these are going to go back in the boxes for display later, so I want to keep all of that in one piece. Move that out of the way. And we're going to move on to the Brothers Crazy here. We got Crazy Train, and we saw that fan art of me with Crazy Train earlier. Very cool to see that. It's a very specific body type, but I can see how they did the molding here to maybe save a little money. Let's see. I think that's one of the trucks. It's supercharger style. A little bit, yeah. The superchargers didn't have a ton of play in the wheels. I will say, scale-wise, I am noticing this reads a little bit more like one of the modern-day Hot Wheels. You know what? In fact, hang tight. You'll see me in the little corner here. I'm going to run back behind us. I'm going to grab one of the modern Hot Wheels. I'm going to grab a supercharger, and we're gonna compare because I got piles of toys. All right, we're going to call that close enough. All right, so I've brought back over here, you'll see in the close-up, this is the Hot Wheels Monster Jam era King Crunch truck. And also brought over a true classic, Rollin' Thunder from the Matchbox Superchargers. That's not running, that's walking. Hey, listen, you. I'm a big guy, okay? Plus, I'm barefoot on concrete floor. Running isn't happening for me. I will say, when we look at scale size of tires, they're a little taller than the Superchargers. A little bit more narrow, but I think we're going to see that aligns a bit more, with what the Monster Jam style sort of is, and the current Hot Wheels style. So I think that's very similar. In terms of length, the Monster Jams are definitely longer. Width, I think the Monster Mashers are a little wider, but width-wise, I think very similar to a Supercharger, very similar, and length-wise, also pretty similar. So I kind of like that. It feels a little bit more retro in that regard. But yeah, I'm glad I have those around for comparisons. All right, but we are moving on to the Brothers Crazy. We have Crazy Train and Plain Crazy, two trucks that two brothers drive, both young guys. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna open these as well. Again, in case anyone's squeamish, look away. All right. And again, I love this. I love this packaging style because it's going to go right back together real easy for convenient stacking and displaying. Yeah, Crazy Train. Okay, so immediately, oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. They got all the exact art on there. Why must you cut toward yourself? I assure you, I'm in no danger. At least no more danger than I should be. They got the graphics on here. I mean, they nailed them. That is beautiful. All right, I'm gonna set it down. Let it spin for you while we talk a little about Crazy Train here. So I've been in the Crazy Train ride truck previously, and I've seen Crazy Train twice. Once it almost took down some poles at my local fairgrounds, and then this weekend it was in rare form. I believe might have won racing at the one we were at. I missed the racing finals because I was putting something in the car and they came back from intermission really fast. But yeah, that is a great likeness. And if you watch it spinning around, it doesn't look like a train body. It looks a little bit like Gravedigger. So I think you'll see pretty quickly what they've done here for the body styles. And, you know, molds are expensive to have made. So if you can reuse a mold style, that's always the right thing to do in toy making. So we're going to take Crazy Train and set him aside. And we're going to open another one. Here, look. I'm not going to cut toward myself. I'm going to cut toward all of you. See? Nice and easy. You just let the blade find the tape. Since it's just Scotch tape. There. Nice and easy. All right, so this is Plain Crazy, who won freestyle and best trick when I was at the show on Saturday. Wow. That is a lot of really, really well done detail on this truck. I mean, it's not a simple paint job to emulate and recreate, but that is really nice. Let that one spin around a little bit. I like the sort of matte finish that having all the graphics on there is given it. It's not overly shiny like, you know, Crazy Train is really, really shiny. This one's a little bit more matte. Kind of a cool look. Very, very unique in that way. Just going to chuck these boxes out of the way. But yeah, I think that looks great. Now, again, what I was saying about reusing molds and body types, that's what they've done here. And you'll see pretty easily, these are the same body mold, just different paint jobs, different designs. But they both look great, and they look unique enough. I mean, you know, if you're a kid playing with these two toys, that's two different toys. You know, no one's going to have any complaints. And I think it's a gorgeous little toy. Yeah, I am really psyched on these. These are real nice. Wow. Yeah, looking at some of the details on how they did some of the molding here, just very impressed. And especially, you know, since I'm someone who does toy design. You know, I do 3D modeling, 3D printing, and toy creation, mold making. To see up close how these are put together, really impressive. Just very cool. All right, and we are on to the last of the toys gifted to me by the fine folks over at All Star Monster Trucks. Once again, shout out to Chuck Plumley for hooking it up. This one is now very special to me. So last year, just before I left for Japan, I'm popping over the IRL cam because it's story time. a grown man playing with them. Hey, that's me. Um, Last year, just before I left for Japan, I had the opportunity to do Media Day for the Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live tour with Bigfoot. And I got brought in the day before all the events, and they had the truck Gungster out so that we could film with it and talk to the driver. I did an interview with the driver. I got to sit inside of Gungster, which is actually Bigfoot 21 is the one that was on that tour, done up as Gungster. So I got to sit inside of Bigfoot 21 and take my picture. It was very cool. Yeah, it was a great experience. I got to walk all around the track, and then they gifted us some free tickets. So we came back the next day, took in the show. Immediately, the next day I'm at the show, I went straight to the merch table and bought a Gungster toy. I sat in the driver's seat, so I had to have the toy. A few days ago, I sat in the driver's seat of Identity Theft and got to drive it in Herman, Maine. And that's what I'm unboxing now, is my toy of Identity Theft. I really like this. Has such a cool look to it. Again, we all know this is a truck that's sort of a tongue-in-cheek parody joke play on Gravedigger, hence the name Identity Theft. This is a really nice toy. It's simple, it's cool, it's got the fonts all correct. It looks like the race version of the truck that I drove the other day. And we're gonna do what you're all waiting for. You're all waiting to hop on that close-up cam. So let's get in there. We're gonna let Identity Theft spin around, and we're gonna take him in, because it is a thing of beauty. I mean, that is a really, really slick-looking toy. It's the truck Dennis Anderson ripped off. Dennis Anderson took one look at this and said, I've got an idea. This is a great looking toy. And again, what we were saying about reusing castings and designs, definitely the same body. But look at those paint jobs and the style there with the fake windows painted in here. You can't tell that it's the same model. It's really hard to see. And I love that. Again, this is, if you're playing with these toys, that's two different toys. I love that. I love that about these toys. They're doing a lot with a little, and I think that's really cool. And the toys themselves are really nice looking. The graphics, I don't know how well it reads on camera. The graphics are really vibrant. Like, they really stand out. So, yeah, if you get a chance to get out to All-Star Monster Truck Tours, you absolutely could. They've got some great merch, some great toys. Reach out to Chuck Plumley. You might be able to buy some from him. He's the guy with the hookup. Message All-Star Monster Trucks on Instagram. They may hook you up. We have one more thing to unbox. I'm going to let Identity Theft spin there for a second while I put away this X-Acto knife and clear a little bit of space, because this next thing is a little bit bigger. And it's definitely going to be for the IRL cam. All right, last we're gonna let Identity Theft spin just a little more. God, that is such a nice toy. Fantastic. All right, we're hopping back over to the IRL cam. I'm moving the benchtop cam back up, because this next item, if we're doing close-ups, we're gonna do them looking straight down at the benchtop here. Clear this out of here, clear some space, because this next one's a bit bigger. So, some time ago, I was on these streams. I was doing an unboxing just like this, and I happened to mention a toy from my childhood that I don't have anymore. And a fan took note and apparently had one, but didn't know where it was. This fan lives in Connecticut and was recently cleaning out their parents' house to help them. They were moving away, so they were cleaning through the house, and they found it. When I was 4, I got my first RC car. It was from Radio Shack. It was a monster truck. I was 4. I got it for Christmas. And I was really excited because I was 4. I'm going to keep saying that because what happens next is heartbreaking, and it's because I was 4. I was really excited. When I opened the box, I went to pull this RC truck out of its styrofoam, and I snapped off one of the front tires on Christmas morning. Now, thankfully, this was the 80s. This would have been 1989, 88, 1988. And it was Christmas. The toy was from Radio Shack. And thankfully, because it was the 80s, Radio Shack was open on Christmas because everybody needed batteries on Christmas. So after I stopped crying and freaking out, because again, I was 4, my dad loaded me, the toy truck, into the car, went to Radio Shack, and they were kind enough to replace the toy. I did have it for years after that and drove it around, probably destroyed it because that's what little kids do with toys. I would have been happy just to get one of these. Perry won't admit this was him and his wife last Christmas. No. This toy's way too old for that to have been the case. I would have been happy to just get one of these loose, not working, no remote control, just to go on the shelf. You know, I'm happy to turn the camera here. That's my 90s Clodbuster that I built myself. I keep it on the shelf. It does not currently run. I have all the parts. I'm going to restore it one day. That's why I keep it down here. But I would have been happy to have one of these that just didn't really work right or was incomplete. Whatever, because I could fix it. You know, I know I could. This fan outdid any expectation and gifted me this for free. I got this last week before going up to Maine. I stopped in Connecticut before I met up with Johnny Torres and met up with this fan, and they had this for me, and you got to see it. Still with the box. This is the 1985 Radio Shack Tandy 4x4 off-roader. Look at that box art. Look at it. Look at it. I'm gonna see what our overhead camera looks like here. Probably can't even get all of it in one shot. Look at that. That is beautiful. So yeah, this was my first RC vehicle as a kid. It is full function, forward, back, left, right. It's a beautiful toy. Don't break the front wheel off. We're going to talk about that when I pull it out of here. I have opened it to take a look at it because they didn't know if it still ran. So I did open it, put some batteries in it, and spoiler, it does not yet run. I am going to fix this up, okay? I am going to restore this so that it runs, and I will have videos on that project. But for now, we're just going to get a nice good look at this thing because it is beautiful. All right, back to our benchtop cam here. I am going to let you look at some more of the box here. This is the actual toy is depicted here, the old up, down, left, right remote, and that's kind of all right. Pop back to the IRL cam. This art of some 80s kids playing with it outside. Love that. I swear when I sat down and looked at this box in the car before going to Torres's house, I was 4 when I got this. I could feel it. I could feel that moment and that excitement again. It was like it was yesterday, even though it was, I'm an old man. It was 35 years ago. My mic is super low. Oh no, Toby. All right, hang on. How's that? How we doing now? That better? Turned it up a little. Anyways, it was like I was reliving it, honestly. Thank you, Toby. But yeah, let's get this thing open and get a look at it because it is beautiful. I'm gonna switch to the overhead and see. All right. So one of the first things that jumped out at me, they still have the manual. This is a toy from 1985 and the manual was still in here. Unbelievable. Yeah, just a relic. All right. Again, I'm going to be super careful pulling this out of here because I just told the traumatic story from my childhood about how I broke this when I got it as a kid. Take the controller out. Again, love the look of this controller. I do have hopes that we're going to make this work because you will see when I hit the on button, I do get a light. So there's hope. There's hope. The electronics are not fried. All right, so we're going to... And you can see with this sideways slide out, you can see how a dumb little 4-year-old snapped one of the tires off. You can see how that happened, right? Someone please tell me you understand. All right. We're going to real slow and real careful crunch. No, we're going to real slow and real careful pull this on out of here. We're going to move the styrofoam off camera. And here it is. So I will say when I first got this, one half of this front bumper was broken off very cleanly, and I have repaired that because I really don't mind packaging from where when we kids was not great. Yo, they did not care if we destroyed everything because it meant you had to buy another one. Being old, man, being old. Now if you break it, you can fix it with your 3D printer. Believe me, that was in my mind, but because I assumed there would be some stuff missing here. I assumed there would be broken, missing parts. The front piece of bumper that was broken was in the box. So I repaired it. It's glued back on and it's sturdy. Everything else is there. Like I expected maybe some of the roll bar lights to be missing, but they're all there. You know, little parts like that. These little fake headlights on the front here. Everything's there. But yeah, this is a beautiful toy. It is, you can see it is 4-wheel drive. And if you get a chance, there's some great videos you can find on YouTube of people tearing these down and looking through them. The system and how this works is so simple and so well thought out because that's how they had to do it back then because the electronics were so much more inferior. It is variable speed. There's a high speed and a low speed switch here, and that changes the gearing inside the truck. And yeah, it's got such a cool feel. The tires are, real rubber, squishy, and like, what a classic look. Even like the low stance of this truck reads like early USA 1 or Bigfoot 2. I'm failing to put into words accurately what this toy means to me, and it's so cool that a fan just gifted this to me because I mentioned it on a stream. Unreal. Now, because of the magic of live streaming, I'm going to try again to turn it on and see if it'll work. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe having you all here will be the thing that turns it around. So let's see. Let's see if I'm going to turn the remote on first because otherwise it might take off on its own. So again, that light comes on. That's the extending antenna. This is a toy from 1985. So yeah, a real relic of its time. All right, and now, let's see. Can we see the light there? Yeah, you got the light in frame. Here we go. Okay, it just started moving. Holy crap. Why is it moving? I'm not hitting anything on the controller. Okay, so the controller's not making it do anything. So there's a disconnect somewhere there, but it drives. It just turned on and started driving. So I got to figure out what's causing that. This will be a really fun teardown to figure out what's going on that the controller doesn't seem to help, but it is capable of driving. I'm going to turn it back off before it decides to drive off the bench top here. Let's see. Did the light go on the remote after you turned on the truck? Let's see. Well, both lights are on. Yeah, we're live troubleshooting. All right, steering's not doing anything. Oh, the forward might have worked. I'm guessing the problem's the remote. My guess. Does it have to be further away? Is that what's going on? Okay, so, well, again, I'm going to turn it off before it tries to drive off of the bench top here. That was completely unexpected, because when I put the batteries in the other day and turned everything on, the lights came on and nothing happened. This is truly bizarre that just occurred. So yeah, I guess we're gonna find out. At some point I'm gonna do a teardown on this. I'll definitely do a video. Oh, for sure, there will be something on my YouTube of me doing a rebuild on this to get it working. I've seen some people have opened them up and they now it's stuck in like turn. Wow, that's so weird. I have seen some videos where people put modern RC electronics in here. Just that way they can, recharge the battery easier, and rather than putting in, it takes C batteries. It takes 4 C batteries and 2 9-volts for the whole thing to come together. Pretty unreasonable in 2024. That said, I absolutely intend to fix this up and get it running. I've got a number of project trucks like that. Again, the old Clodbuster's been sitting there since I got this house. It's just waiting, and eventually it'll happen. But for now, this is going to be a shelf queen with the others. It's going to go up on display. Again, super psyched to have that box art to be able to look at. Truly one of the most unique, cool, and sentimental gifts that a fan has ever given me. And to receive it from a fan just a day before I wound up driving a monster truck. Unreal. So, shout out to everybody I've mentioned here. Anyone who I didn't mention by name asked not to be credited. But shout out to everyone I've mentioned here. Once again, shout out to my friends at All Star Monster Trucks, Chuck Plumley and Lunchbox, for letting me drive the full size version of this guy, Identity Theft. That was so awesome, so cool. And I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing. I'll do another one as soon as I've amassed another pile of stuff I got to get through. But for now, I got to get running. I got to go make a thumbnail for this and throw it up on the YouTube. And then I got to get some sleep, because tomorrow I got to travel with Delmi Exo to Dedham, Massachusetts for NCW, where we are teaming up against BMT and REL. So if you are in the area of Boston, come on out and see us. I've got a whole bunch of other shows. They've been scrolling by down here. I got stuff in Maine, stuff in Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, stuff coming up all over the place. Right there, you'll see the return of Pro Wrestling Grind in July. I'll be main eventing to challenge Mike Skyros for the Grind Grand Championship. Very excited for that. In the meantime, thank you all so much for coming and hanging out, and we will definitely do this again soon. Take care, my friends.